Alright, it is Friday at about 10:30, 11 o'clock. Had to go work on a van this morning. Thanks, Brian. We had to put a new EGR valve in. It was fun and exciting. Anyway, what I'm going to be working on today, and I'll bring y'all back in, and we're going to take you back there and maybe shoot another little video. I've got to put the second coat on the ailerons, and I'm going to take now, because I'm doing all this stuff upstairs. That's where the wings are upstairs, the fuselage upstairs. I've gone up with an X-Acto knife. I'm going to go ahead and I need to remove the rudder, because I'm going to respray the one side of the rudder because I'm not happy with it. So I'll probably do both sides of the rudder. Vertical stabilizer, I can kind of sort of mask off in a way to do that, because one side looks good, the other side is so I might do both. I haven't decided yet, but that'll end up being brought back down later on. It's not going to be done today. So we got about 5 inches of snow coming tonight, so it's going to be fun and exciting. And then we got cold coming back again, so you know, sub-zero stuff. So and that's about it. I want to get this stuff done and then figure out how I want to progress from here. I mean, there are certain things. I got to finish the doors, so that could be part of the whatever. I'm going to try to spray paint the bursts on the wings, and as I let you know earlier, I'm going to start doing the sorry about that, the checkerboard pattern on the bottom of the wings. That'll be the first thing I'm going to work on. So that the wings were painted yesterday, so we're looking at, you know, I could start working on them tomorrow if I really wanted it, Saturday. So we'll see what Saturday and Sunday are like for getting that done, because you only got one chance to get it right. So that's really it's a no screw up deal on that. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I will bring you back in when I'm getting everything ready to rock. I'm just sitting here picking away at little pieces of stuff. And it's kind of hard for you to see it. You might be able to see it. Try to get in close. Another black lab hair, and that's in the paint. So that will ride along with the plane until the plane is gone. So anyway, I'm going to try to get it so that I'm going to set up, I'm going to try to do it again, set up or at least walk you back in as I shoot on this, because I'm going to show you how I've modified my spraying pattern, and so far it's looking really good. And I just want you guys to know, because so far those watching know the problems I've been having. And so I want to show you how I'm doing it, and it's becoming somewhat successful. It's not the way I would normally paint, but you have to learn the way the paint wants to work. And I think that was a problem with the whole deal with the paint. Even though the paint itself was an issue, I think it was the way that I was spraying it. I was going old school with the spraying, and it's the chemicals, the thinners, everything else inside the paint is different from what I'm used to using. So it is a more aggressive paint. A lot of their color match, Krylon color match stuff, I think is gone or going. I heard their fusion products is going. So it's just weird little things that we have to learn to work with, unfortunately. You know, I got over a year's invested, and to have things happen with the paint it was the worst time to have them happen. So, all right, when I get the spray booth set up, I'll at least walk you back and forth, walk you through to show you the different stages, because I don't know if I'm going to have you guys watching, because I've already had to get all the orange dust off the camera a couple times. So anyway, I'll bring you back as soon as I get everything set up and ready to go. All right, let's got very bright lights around me, and I got even more. All right, let me get you pointed down, and let's see how much. Sorry, still never fixed the tripod. It still has this looseness to it, and I just can't get rid of it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and spray this one. gonna spray the one back there, the one back there, and then I'll show you what it's gonna look like, because you're gonna see in real time just how quickly this gets sprayed on the first kind of sort of coat. And I know little pieces of dust will keep popping back up again. That's just the way it is. Alright, this is how I do the first coat. I've only got a little over half a can left, so I know I'm going to end up having to get another can eventually, but as of right now, just as long as I got enough to finish this on the wing, I'm good. Alright, I don't know if we're going to be able to see this nicely with the proper sheen I want to have. So see if you can see that. It's not full. There's little areas that are pretty good, but it's not full yet. That's what I'm looking for. See if I can right here. See, so it's so what I'm trying to do is, it's the next coat that goes on top of this is going to be about the same amount of paint as that, and it's gonna, believe it or not, it will actually flow out halfway decently. Wow, I'm blue again. It's a wonderful color balance of what this camera's trying to do. So anyway, yeah, it's kind of a different way to do it, but if that's the way it's working with the paint, sorry about that, nose itching. If that's the only way it's working with the paint, that's what I got to go with. So that will sit just the way it is right now for probably about, I don't know, 15-20 minutes, so I can go to touch it. Then I'll put the second coat on. Then it's going to hang tight for about an hour and a half, 2 hours before I flip it upside down and paint the other side. So when that time comes, I will be upstairs. I've got to get that rudder off. I'm having a weird little issue. I decided to leave those pins in instead of putting the little cotter pins in. Just so that way, once everything's painted, I just use the cotter pins in once. But the pins should be relatively easily removed. I'm just having a problem with a couple of them. So once I get that taken care of, I'll get the rudder off. I'll put my coat. I'm going to dress it up on whichever side needs it. I think it's the left side of the rudder. And then that'll dry. And then what I'm going to do with the hinges anyway, even on the elevator, when I take it apart, I'm going to go in with a razor knife, or like just a razor knife, an X-Acto, and cut a line and then scrape the paint off, just so that there's less chance of anything. Sorry about that, I'm getting tired. Just so that there's less chance of anything binding back there. I mean, it's pretty fluid, and the control surfaces are you know, they're heavier because it's a bigger plane. But with the servos that I think are 225 inches of torque is going to be more than enough to move that. So anyway, yeah, let me go ahead and I will when I get ready to spray the second coat, I'll bring it back. Alright, we're back in again. Let me get you set up in the stand. And let's start this process once again. Alright. Everything is good. And it's not tacky anymore, so you can actually touch it. Done. It's going to be tight, but I think we can do it. And then, like I said, I'm going to have to go get another can, but they've got that down at the local hardware store. I got all kinds of things wobbling on this stand. All right, let's hope that nothing falls. All right. Here is how we sit with the paint. Let me see if I can make sure that we're seeing the right gloss. It's kind of hard to see it, but that's what I'm looking for. And if you're looking, it kind of looks like it's a little dirty. That's the all the other stuff that got unfortunately stuck in it and underneath it. It's little pieces of micro dust. A lot of that will disappear when it dries. So anyway, that's about all I can really show you. So anyway, so the bottoms of those are done. Now I can bring the heater back in, stoke it up, and then we'll just wait a couple hours. So I got enough stuff to do. I'll see if I can get the it'll be done off camera because it's going to be done upstairs. If I can get the rudder off, I just try to get the rudder off, and it's not agreeing whatsoever. So that's what I'm going to do, is go upstairs and work on that, and then as soon as it's come time to throw the paint on the other side, I'll bring it back. Alright, I failed to hit that little button again. I was just doing the final spray on the top of the ailerons, but it is done. Of course, it didn't take that long of a time to do it, so when I was finishing up the second aileron was when I heard it click off. So, to go in and tell you the quick little story behind this, you know how it's supposed to look. It looks good. This, what little is left, was what I sprayed the top of the wings with. And what I ended up doing, let me grab it. And by the way, there's the new heater. So I'll let that set up a little bit. Anyway, here was, this is what I was running out of. And I knew I wasn't going to have enough once this was done to spray the rudder. So I went and got the last can down at the hardware store. Different batch number. This one has NFP as a non. It's got a non-flash point. is 1.40, and this stuff, non-flash point, 0.95. So I'll have to find out what the difference between the two is. It went on the same. It's probably just it's because the non-flash point is a quick dryer, and there might be more quick dryer in this than there is in a new batch. So hopefully it won't be an issue. But this already has the second coat on it, so that's what this side looks like. That's what this side looks like. So I'm going to put one more coat on this side, and then the rudder will be done. And then I've got to get the fuse back downstairs. Not today. Set it up back there in the shop, and then since this is still going to stay off, I don't have to worry about this. I've got to paint the vertical stabilizer, the part that goes up in here, both sides, and then it's done. So I'm hoping, because I did get another can of black, so now I got 2 cans of black as well. So I am hoping we're supposed to be getting, I think 4 to 5 inches of snow tonight. And as you can see, it's snowing. It's not snowing terribly, but it's still snowing. So, so what I'm going to do is I'll get this stuff painted up. I'll finish painting the rudder, and then I just got to figure out what I want to do for the rest of the day. Hang on a second. Oh, my other battery pack died, so that's why I'm looking blue. Yeah, anyway, my LED light up over there, you can't see it because it's right there. That's that battery died. So anyway, I will try to figure out, I've got a couple other little things I could possibly do, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me go old school. I gotta find light. There we go, that's better. What I want to do is I found my little booty. Because as you may be able to see in this, for some reason, even though it's not lifting, I'm hoping you're going to be able to see it. Here, let's turn some more LEDs on. Let's see if we can work with this one. You can see it loosens up. It loosens up just a little bit. And it is tighter than it was. So I want to see if this tightens up any more than it has. Like you see a little spot up there. If not, that's why I had to look to see if I had another sock. The sock itself will not stick to that paint, where when it gets hot the metal wants to stick. So you can be a little more lovingly, but you're gonna have to, I'm gonna have to run a little bit higher temp in there. So that's gonna be fun, because even while the stuff is still rubbery, and it stays rubbery for a few days, I can go ahead and make an adjustment to it and it won't pop. Alright, welcome back to the shop. It's the last day of the year. It's the 31st, and it's cold. It's cold in the shop. It's cold outside. It's minus 1.2 degrees Fahrenheit outside, and the heat's been on. And heat always comes into the shop down here. It's piped in from. I mean, my furnace is on the other side of this wall, and it heats the upstairs and heats the downstairs. This is how cold it is, because the concrete is just so cold in here and in the other area. In the shop, 49. So it's, like I said, it's cold. And I've got heaters cooking. And inside my little spray area, that's what the concrete on the floor is registering. So, because there are cool down there in the floor, there's some little gaps where the cold air comes in. Let me go a little farther in. We'll hit the yeah. So as you can probably see, we're at 38 degrees. I don't even know if it's shining right, but yeah. So it's cold, and even with that boy cooking, it's just not seeming to warm up. So, finishing the plane that is now affectionately known as the Evil Pumpkin, because it deserves a name such as that with all the grief it's been giving me. It is. I'll get the. I'm gonna let these things just the heaters keep warming for about an hour, and then I'll come back down. I'll bring the plane down. I got to do that little touch up on the underside of the tail, and the paint I've got, between the two of these things, because this one I already sprayed out of, I've got about 1 can here, and I'm going to be about a half a can short. So I had to order up some more paint, which won't be until next Friday anyway. So, and it's just going to be cold this whole week. It's supposed to be, you know, close to sub-zero for the better part. We got a really cold snap coming in, I think -10 tonight. So, it's going to be a no painting zone for a week. But I can at least bring the fuse down, get it resanded for the last spray on the underside and the bottom, and then it's done. But like I said, you saw that the wings are done, ailerons are done, rudder's done, and I wanted to paint the black today, but it's just too cold, so I'm not even going to mess with it. So anyway, this is just, I'll get the shop cleaned up, I'll get the plane down, I'll do, after I get a little bit of sanding done, I'll bring it back just to show you what it is, and we'll call it a video. I mean, I'm piecemealing this video together. It's like, I don't know, four or 5 days of little tidbits coming in. So anyway, that's enough for me. Let me get the shop cleaned up. So I'll let it warm up a little bit. I'll come back down and then get everything cleaned up and bring the plane back down again, and then at least get a little bit of stuff done. So I'll see you soon. All right, I did get the first door mounted on there. I'll shift you over in a second. These are 3/48 screws, and lo and behold, you don't use SAE. You need a 2mm metric. That's what fits inside it. So you'll never guess what part of the world these are probably made in. I'm assuming not the United States. That's why they cost a fortune for them. So anyway, here's kind of how things are looking. If I can get this lined up nicely the first time, I ought to work. Okay, the door is in. It is only off by a little teeny bit at the top. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm gonna have this set up so that this corner right here is going to be blocked. There's going to be a little stop block on the back corner of this, just for the door to shut it and stop. I'm going to put a little block up in this corner, the upper corner, because I was going to do it on the other side as well. Just something to have a little bit of force against the door, so that way the door is doing less shaking. So if I have a spot here and a spot up here, we should be pretty good. So what I need to do is I've got my little piece of spruce that is going to be the hammer, just to come on over and tap this to put a dent in the wood. And I'm hoping the first swing gives me a good enough dent and I've got everything nicely lined up, because I only want to have to do this once. You ready? 3, 2, 1. And there is the dent. The dent is right there. So all I need to do is just go in with a drill and drill that through. And then my little stopper might either be in the corner here, it might be on the back wall covering this up, but the other stopper is going to go up in there in the top. So let me go ahead and get a drill and run a drill through down. I'm going to put a slight little line on a piece of tape out here because I want to look at the angle that's got to come in at, and I want to match that angle, because this does come relatively straight out the door, but it does, if you look at it, it does angle down in comparison with the side. So I want to make sure that I'm going on this line with the drill. So let's get this set back up again, and I will bring you right back. And a pencil. And that's the angle that she's got to be sitting at. number 29. And there we go. The door is in and it is latched. So all I got to do is, like I said, just come on in and put a little stop up here. That might be a little bit too much. Yeah, I think that'll work. Alright, yeah, and then I got a really good line up here on the top too. Alright, so I'll go ahead and I'll get the stop glued in. I may do that off camera. But there we go. We got a door on. So we're getting closer. Can't paint it today, but there's still a couple little things that I can get done, and this is one of them. So I'll end up making a little block, put it up in the corner, and then you know, I'll do that off camera. But I'll get the other door mounted and do the same thing I did on this side. And remember, like I said, that was why I put little teeny bullet points on the tops of these things. So when it came time to get everything lined up, that's all I had to do, was just come in, tap it from the backside, and it's done. So it's going to be another light day of not doing much down here in the shop, but you know, as long as I get something accomplished, because with the cold weather coming up this week, the next days I might be able to paint is supposed to get back up, I think, into the 20s by Saturday and Sunday. So if that's the case, then there won't be an issue. Plus, you know, the orange has a little bit more than a week to dry, because I'm going to get the wings done first, and that's no big deal, because then the wings will be dry for about a week and a half before it comes time to paint them. We're getting there. So gotta figure my timeline before I can fly is probably, you know, 4.5 months. So I got that's an early, halfway through April. Normally it's sometime in May when I like to mate in the big stuff. So anyway, we got time. I just want to see how well I can get at least somewhat caught up to where I want it to be now, and I'm not. So anyway, that's it.